7 Stoic signs you've outgrown the need for validation. The day you stop needing everyone's approval, your life changes forever. Because one of the heaviest burdens a person can carry is the desperate need to be accepted, to be liked, to be praised, For years, Sophia tried to correct these misunderstandings. She explained herself endlessly, tried harder to please people, adjusted her behavior constantly. Yet, 7 Stoic signs you've outgrown the need for validation. The day you stop needing everyone's approval, your life changes forever. Because one of the heaviest burdens a person can carry is the desperate need to be accepted, to be liked, to be praised, For years, Sophia tried to correct these misunderstandings. She explained herself endlessly, tried harder to please people, adjusted her behavior constantly. Yet nothing changed, because people often see what they expect to see. Eventually, Sophia stopped fighting this reality. She accepted that being misunderstood is sometimes the price of authenticity. And that acceptance changed everything. The Stoics admired people who remained true to themselves, even when misunderstood, because pretending to gain approval creates misery, but authenticity creates peace. Imagine trying to control the wind. Impossible. Trying to control everyone's opinion is just as exhausting. The Stoics chose another path. Control your character. Control your actions. Control your response. And let people think what they want. Because peace begins when your self-worth no longer depends on universal approval. Being misunderstood is painful, but abandoning yourself to avoid misunderstanding is far more painful. Sign number 3. You celebrate your progress quietly. One of the strongest signs that you have outgrown the need for validation is this. You no longer feel the need to prove your success to everyone. You stop announcing every achievement. Stop seeking applause for every victory. Stop comparing your progress with other people. Because your satisfaction now comes from growth itself, not from recognition. There was a young man named Daniel. Years ago, every accomplishment had to be shared. If he bought something expensive, he wanted people to see it. If he achieved a goal, he wanted people to praise him. If he received compliments, he felt powerful. But if nobody noticed, he felt disappointed. His happiness depended on attention, and attention is unpredictable. Some days people praise you, other days they ignore you. And when your confidence depends on external recognition, your peace becomes fragile. One day, Daniel discovered Stoicism. He learned that the greatest victories are often invisible. Self-discipline, emotional control, patience, wisdom, character. These qualities rarely receive applause, yet they determine the quality of your life. Daniel gradually changed. He continued growing, continued improving, but quietly. He no longer needed public approval to feel successful, because his standards had become internal. And internal standards are powerful. The Stoics admired this mindset. They believed, the person who needs constant praise remains emotionally dependent, but the person who finds satisfaction in virtue becomes free. Imagine a tree growing in a forest. It does not announce its growth. It simply grows, quietly, steadily, patiently, and one day, its strength becomes undeniable. Your growth should be the same, not performed, not exaggerated, simply lived. The strongest people often move quietly, because they no longer need the world to confirm their worth. Sign number 4. You stop comparing your life to others. Comparison is one of the greatest thieves of peace. The Stoics understood this centuries ago, because the moment you compare your life constantly, you lose gratitude, lose confidence, lose perspective. There was a woman named Isabella. She compared herself to everyone. Someone earned more money. Someone looked more attractive. Someone appeared happier. Someone seemed more successful. No matter how much progress Isabella made, it never felt enough, because someone always appeared ahead. This endless comparison slowly destroyed her happiness, until one day her grandfather gave her simple advice. He said, if you spend your life looking at someone else's path, You will miss your own. Those words stayed with her forever because she realized something important. Life is not a competition. People begin at different places, face different struggles, possess different talents, and pursue different goals. Comparison ignores all of these differences. The Stoics believe the only meaningful comparison is this: are you becoming a better person than you were yesterday? If the answer is yes, you are succeeding. Isabella slowly adopted this mindset. She stopped competing with strangers, stopped measuring her worth through social approval, stopped chasing appearances, and gradually, her peace returned. Because peace grows when comparison ends. Imagine two flowers blooming. One blooms in spring, another blooms in summer. Neither is late, neither is early. Each blooms according to its nature. Human beings are no different. Your timeline belongs to you, not society, not social media, not other people's expectations. The Stoics embraced this truth, and it gave them enormous freedom. The moment you stop comparing yourself to others, you begin appreciating the beauty of your own journey. Sign number 5. You no longer chase people who don't value you. This is one of the most liberating forms of emotional growth. You stop begging for attention. Stop chasing friendships that feel one-sided. Stop trying endlessly to earn love from people who repeatedly ignore your worth. Because you finally understand, your value does not decrease because someone fails to recognize it. There was a man named Noah. For years he chased relationships. He constantly reached out first, constantly gave more, constantly sacrificed his own needs, hoping people would eventually appreciate him. But appreciation never came, only exhaustion. One evening Noah asked himself, "Why am I fighting so hard to stay where I am barely valued?" The answer changed his life. He wasn't afraid of losing people. He was afraid of being alone. And once he conquered that fear, everything changed. The Stoics believed, better to walk alone with dignity than remain where you are tolerated but not cherished. Noah gradually stopped chasing people, and something unexpected happened. His life became peaceful because the energy he once wasted pursuing approval, he began investing in himself. His health improved, his confidence improved, his happiness improved, and ironically, the more comfortable he became alone, the healthier his relationships became. Because desperate people attract unhealthy relationships, whole people attract meaningful ones. The right people won't require you to beg for their love. Sign number 6. You make decisions based on your values, not people's opinions. There was a time when every decision depended on what others would think. You worried about disappointing your family, your friends, society. You carefully adjusted your dreams to fit other people's expectations. And without realizing it, you slowly abandoned yourself. But one day, something changed. You realized that no matter what you do, someone will disagree, someone will criticize, someone will misunderstand. And suddenly, living for approval stopped making sense. There was a young woman named Grace. She dreamed of starting her own business, but everyone discouraged her. Her relatives told her to choose safety. Her friends doubted her ability. People warned her she might fail. For years, she ignored her dream because she feared criticism, until she asked herself a life-changing question. If I spend my entire life pleasing others, who will live my life for me? Nobody could answer, because nobody else could live her life. Nobody else could carry her regrets. Nobody else could experience her dreams. That realization gave Grace courage. She stopped asking permission, stopped waiting for universal approval, stopped allowing fear to decide her future. You find peace within yourself. This may be the greatest sign of all. You no longer depend on applause to feel valuable. You no longer depend on attention to feel important. You no longer depend on admiration to feel complete, because you have discovered something rare: inner peace. There was an elderly man named Victor. Throughout his youth, he chased recognition, worked endlessly to impress people, bought expensive possessions, sought admiration everywhere he went. But no matter how much praise he received, It never felt enough. Because validation is addictive, the more you depend on it, the more you need. Then one day Victor encountered Stoic philosophy, and he discovered a different path. Instead of asking, "Do people admire me?" he began asking, "Do I respect myself?" Instead of asking, "Am I popular?" he asked, "Am I living honorably?" Instead of seeking admiration, he pursued character, and slowly, his anxiety disappeared. Because peace does not come from being admired. It comes from knowing who you are and living according to your principles. The Stoics believed this was true freedom. Freedom from comparison, freedom from approval, freedom from public opinion, freedom from emotional dependence. Victor eventually realized something extraordinary. The peace he spent decades searching for externally had been available internally all along. And once he found it, nothing outside himself could take it away. Imagine carrying a candle during a storm. If your flame depends on external conditions, the wind constantly threatens it. But when your flame burns from within, the storm loses its power. This is what happens when you outgrow the need for validation. You become emotionally independent, stable, peaceful, strong. When you no longer need others to tell you your worth, you become truly free. Now let's remember these 7 Stoic signs you've outgrown the need for validation. You no longer explain yourself to everyone. You are comfortable being misunderstood. You celebrate your progress quietly. You stop comparing your life to others. You no longer chase people who don't value you. You make decisions based on your values. And finally, you find peace within yourself. These signs may appear simple, but together, they represent extraordinary emotional growth. Because most people spend their lives seeking something outside themselves. Approval, recognition, acceptance, praise. Yet the Stoics understood something profound. Nothing external can permanently satisfy an internal void. If you don't value yourself, no amount of praise will feel enough. If you don't respect yourself, no amount of admiration will create peace. And if you don't know yourself, no amount of validation will make you whole. This is why Stoicism focuses inward, not because other people don't matter, but because your relationship with yourself determines everything else. When you respect yourself, you establish boundaries. When you trust yourself, you make courageous decisions. When you value yourself, you stop begging for approval. And when you love yourself, you stop abandoning yourself to make others comfortable. The journey toward this mindset is not easy. There will be moments when criticism hurts, moments when rejection feels painful, moments when misunderstanding feels lonely. But remember, you are not here to satisfy everyone. You are not here to earn universal approval. You are not here to become who others expect. You are here to become the highest version of yourself. And that journey requires courage. The courage to stand alone. The courage to disappoint people. The courage to remain authentic. The courage to choose inner peace over external validation. But that courage creates something beautiful. Freedom. The freedom to think independently. The freedom to live authentically. The freedom to pursue your dreams. The freedom to become exactly who you are meant to be. And once you experience that freedom, you will never want to return to seeking approval from the world, because you will finally understand. The greatest validation was never external. It was always the quiet confidence that comes from knowing. I respect myself. I trust myself. And I no longer need permission to be who I am. Subscribe to Stoic Reflections for more videos on Stoicism, self-mastery, emotional intelligence, wisdom, mental strength, and personal growth. And remember, the moment you stop seeking validation from the world is the moment you begin discovering your true power.